Previously on Fabulous.
I just found out you have a
Yeah.
19-year-old.
Yeah, I have a 19-year-old. She's in college in Scotland.
And you don't look anything like someone with a 19-year-old.
I
As a
know.
compliment.
Thank you so much. I am
Yeah.
40 myself. So
Okay, lovely, lovely, lovely.
so that's what happens sometimes when yeah. But anyways, I had my baby.
Welcome to another episode of Familers on Leader Freak TV on YouTube. Today I'm seated, have the privilege, this woman is so difficult to reach, have the privilege of sitting with my good friend, my sister, my boss, my everything, Teko, Mrs. Teko Sapa. We're going to have conversations. She's just going to, you know how we do it. We talk about their lives, how she's reached where she is, if that's what you want to know. So let us know what you want to know. Subscribe to the channel as well. Share it as well. Share your own comments. So she'll tell us, we'll just basically take a journey through her life, and we're going to focus on how she's particularly doing her mothering role today, and what her advice is to some of our young women and other women who are struggling. Not all women are finding this juggling business easily. So we'll go through these conversations and we'll see where it takes us. Are you ready? Mrs. Saba. Yeah, welcome.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Why are you hiding from me?
The Bible says that you should work while it is still day.
Ah, that's why you're hiding from me. Okay, so I'll come and join your work so you don't hide from me. Teko,
Yes, dear.
who are you?
Oh, wow.
Who do you say that you are?
Wow. Oh, well, I will say that I am blessed to be a child of God.
Good, good, good.
And God decided in His own wisdom to put me here in Ghana. So I'm Ghanaian, proudly so. I call myself an Afro-optimist.
That's interesting, okay.
I believe that Africa will become what it has to become. And I believe that I have a role in doing that. And so that is what I'll say I have dedicated my life to do
Okay.
in my own small way, to make where God has put me better, and hopefully better for the children who are coming. So that is me.
I think one of the things that fascinates me most about you is that you have all these accolades, certificates. You're like a schoolgirl. You love school. We both love education, but I would say that you love school more than I think I've seen so many people love school. What drives you?
Okay, so I call myself a student of life. I learn everywhere I am. And what has helped me is classroom learning.
Okay.
I like theories.
Okay.
I like concepts and frameworks. I want to understand the epistemologies
Okay.
and the diastemics. I want to understand things, and therefore I go into classrooms when I have a question. So I started my life after sixth form. I went to university to do agric science.
Interesting.
My first degree is in agriculture.
No kidding. Okay.
And then I got a job in forestry. And one of my roles was as organizational development officer. And I said, what does organizational development
I mean,
And so to answer that question, I went to school
good.
to do a master's in organizational development.
Okay.
And then after that, I continued my work in natural resources, forestry, working with women, children. And then I wanted to know more about development.
Okay.
So I went to do a master's in development studies.
I see.
And that is how my life has been. Now, in my work in development studies, I realized that I was doing a lot of policy advocacy, trying to change the systems that kept people poor, as opposed to just helping them in their small space. And therefore, I needed to understand more about how laws are made. And
So that's what made you a lawyer. That's cool. Okay.
So basically, that has been my life.
Okay.
Some people learn by looking, by feeling. I also learned that way, but I always want to have the background that goes with it, the understanding, some frameworks, that will help you then in that space to bluff more.
Yeah, and there's project development.
Yeah, project
And now
management.
that,
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
no, I was just thinking now you're going to go into, before I know it, you're in school again.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
so I did project management because all the work I was doing was around projects. So I needed to know projects, I did project management. And then, so if there's a question which I want to answer,
You just go to the
I will
classroom.
find a classroom that will teach me that.
Okay.
And then I would do that.
And for you, that classroom is a physical space.
It starts from
Okay.
It starts from
My
a
physical
The
space.
question will always be in my professional environment, but then I need to get the answer from an academic space, and then go back and do it in the physical space. So that is how I have learned.
How have you managed all that with a family?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! As a Ghanaian would say, it has been God.
That answer, though.
Now God. But it hasn't. I mean, more and more as I became more of a family person. Of course, when you were not married, when I was not married, it was easier to do it. There was actually a time when I did 2 master's degrees together at the same time.
Hey, Ted.
One in University of Cape Coast and one in University of Ghana.
Really?
And I was moving back and forth, and I did both, and I
Excelled.
And I excelled. So it was easier then. And then when the children came, it became a little bit harder.
Okay.
So I remember that when I was in law school and my LLM, when I was in law school, I was actually working in Ethiopia,
Interesting.
Addis Ababa,
Okay.
and I had to be in class in Ghana.
Really?
Yes, thankfully it was, then they called it modular.
Okay.
It was a modular law school. So modular is 3 weeks every 3 months. So I'll take my assignments, go to Addis, go and do my work, and then I was a Mo Ibrahim fellow.
Okay.
So really high level, working with the president. I was grateful to meet people like Robert Mugabe, and then the Liberian president,
At the time, okay.
Sirleaf, and these people really spoke to me about Africa and the Africa that we want. And so juggling that was difficult. But thankfully, I went through it. And then when I was in Mokola, I was pregnant with my third child.
Okay.
So managing a pregnancy plus 2 other young children plus a family, and then the rigors of Mokola, not just the normal life, but Mokola was by God's grace. And I think what we have done has been what has been helpful to me has been to know that there is a goal, and the goal is attainable, and the goal is getting closer. So it makes it easier for you to strive to achieve that, and to know that people are looking up to you.
Okay.
To be successful, so that they can also take that path. I think has been very, very helpful to me.
Okay.
I remember when I went to law school and I was pregnant, the first thing I wanted to do was to defer. So I went to see the registrar, and he said, "This year nobody's deferring." He said, "This year nobody's deferring law school." I said, "Oh, sir, I'm pregnant." I said, "No, you don't."
You do it.
So I went in, and then I heard that every person who had come to law school that was pregnant was not able to finish.
Really?
With
Okay.
their mates.
Okay.
That everybody had to stop or had to be deferred in a course and hadn't finished. And I said, mine was me.
Amen.
I have never failed school since my mother gave birth to me. This is nowhere
I will fail.
I mean, how? I said, how? I will take that favor and give it to every pregnant person who comes to law school after me.
Wonderful.
And I prayed into that.
Wonderful.
That I will not fail or be deferred while I was pregnant and in law school. And by God's grace,
You made it through.
I made it through. And to the best of my knowledge, my juniors who came who were pregnant, they were also able to make it through.
Wonderful.
So that is how it has happened. It hasn't been easy. Sometimes you have to have a goal in front of you as a mother. What are your priorities? And one of the things I'll say Las Magnatas did for me was the wheel of life. Those 8 little quadrants, especially the one on family, has been very helpful.
Wonderful.
But when I did that, and I realized that there was a little bit more I could do with my family, with my marriage, with my spiritual life, and then actually set goals in how to be more consistent in spending time with the children, taking interest in their school, which I always did, but being more present in the moment.
Okay.
I think is what has been helpful.
That sounds a lot. For those of you who do not know about Las Magnatas, it is a female executive program that supports you to grow from your place of strength. So from your place of worth, not necessarily following the narrative. So you choose your story and then you decide how you're going to birth your story to the rest of the world and for yourself. And if for those of you watching, do subscribe. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, and remember to also click the notification button so you never ever miss an upload. This is good. I like this evolution of Teko Sabah. Speaking of, so you have 3 children.
That is correct.
3 children.
3 biological
3 biological children, of course.
3,000 others.
3,000 others, there are 3,000 others. Sometimes you're like, okay, there's a reason God gave me 2, because he knew that he had others that I had to mother.
Yeah.
So 3 biological children. You have, what, 7, 8 degrees?
Oh, I haven't counted. But I have 2 first degrees. I have almost 3 master's degrees because I'm finishing 1 now. That'll make it 5, right? And then maybe 2 professional. That will make it 7.
Sounds about right. Okay, I actually guessed, but it was about right.
Okay.
So you did some while you were in school, or while you were single, and majority of it while you've been coupled and have children. What has been your major challenge? Because you were working through all of this. We shouldn't forget that part.
Yes, I was working through most of this.
Okay.
With the exception of Mokola, where I decided to drop 1 ball.
Okay.
With the exception of Mokola, where I consciously dropped work so that I could focus on my baby. Then, because I had a baby, focus on my baby and school and family. The most challenging has been juggling the time. In those days, pre-COVID, of course, all schools had to be in person. You had to be there in class. And therefore, sometimes that took you away from your family at the times when you had to be with your family. But I think what I did was to try and pick courses that were working for me.
Okay.
So, for example, when I was doing my PMI, the project management, I had to do a class to qualify for it. What I did was that my children go for swimming on Saturdays. And so I found a school that was close to their swim club.
Okay.
That did the training from 9 to 12 on Saturdays. And so what I did is that we get ready on Saturday morning. We leave home
Together.
Okay. I dropped them at the training ground at about 8:30. I go to class 9 to 12. They finish at 11. Of course, they run around a little bit. They want to buy both fruits and things. They take over. By 12, I'm done. I come and pick them up and then we go home. And then in the evenings when they are asleep, that is when I will learn.
Okay.
Catch up. Or sometimes, you learn with them. Oh, let me give you a story. I started a new job. And within 3 months, we're doing an evaluation of the project. And I was head of programs. And so we had visitors coming from the UK. And I was supposed to pick my children from school at 4. Okay, I forgot. I left my children in school. So we had had gone round, we come back and we're debriefing around 6 o'clock. And then something hits me like, hey, where are my children? And at that time, most of the time, my husband, very, very supportive. But at that time, my husband had gone on a peacekeeping. So he was nowhere in Ghana. And so I quickly excused myself from the meeting, rushed to my children's school, and they were nowhere to be found.
Oh dear.
And the head hadn't called me that, sometimes when your children stay in school after some time, they will call you. She hadn't called me. I was like, who are my children? So they had picked a taxi for them to go.
Okay.
Thankfully, there was somebody in the house who then took over. So that is one of the stories I say, and I tell myself never again. To the extent that you actually forget your children in school. but so for me, it's about being present in the moment, and to focus on my children when we are home so that we have quality time together. I also have a very good support system with my husband, very supportive, and he does a lot of the homework.
Okay.
Yes. Yesterday, my daughter was asking me to teach her something called moment of force in physics.
Okay.
I said, I'd forgotten. Go and ask your father. So the challenge, those are some of the challenges, that as you go higher and higher in leadership, you cannot do a normal 9 to 5. There are evenings, there are weekends, there are holidays, and these are the times that would have been people's rest time for you to spend with your children, and you find that you're unable to do that, especially now in my role at the church, because church is Sunday.
Yeah.
And or in my role as a church, but I'm also in charge of the development works of the church across the country, and so you find Sunday to be as important a work day as any other day, and so it's difficult to be there. But when you are there, I make sure that I'm present and I'm supportive and able to help them to work through their things. But they know that mommy isn't always around.
Yeah.
And so they also take mommy as she is. They use her. So when I'm there, especially my last child, it's very all around me. But one of the other things I have done is also to make sure that whenever I have an opportunity, I go with my children to places where I am speaking or where I'm playing a role or where I am being celebrated or something, so that they see how a strong woman looks like.
Yeah.
So that they see me in those spaces and they normalize those spaces. I actually have a photograph where I was emceeing an occasion which I had gone to with my youngest. She was then about 6 years, and she was hanging on my legs.
I think I've seen that picture before.
She was hanging on my legs, and I was holding a microphone. The next agenda of the item is, and she had held me. She was hanging on my legs, and it for me it wasn't about feeling shy about it.
Yeah, there's no shame in it.
There's no shame in it. It's about modeling what I would want her to be when she grows up. How I would want her to be when she grows. I go when I have dinner dates. I go with my son, and he has the opportunity to wear a suit or a tuxedo. Go when I'm going for my meetings. I go with my daughter, so that she experiences her mother in those spaces. Now, Zoom has made it easier.
Yeah.
And so when I'm chairing meetings online, they are outside my screen. So yesterday I was in a meeting in the evening at about 7, and my daughter was lying on the bed by me, and I was on Zoom, and she fell asleep. But at least this is how I spend time with my children, because for the past 2 weeks I've been out of Accra.
Okay.
So yeah, we balance it
as much as possible.
as much as possible.